Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm the lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so grateful to be joining each and every one of you on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Just got done with day one of week 2 of Arizona State fall practice, fall camp. And they are now set to practice on Tuesday. Before heading up to Camp Tontozona up in Payson, which is about an hour and a half north of Tempe. And they will be spending Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They will be spending 4 nights, Tuesday night through Friday night, and then obviously the yearly scrimmage on Saturday. Then they will be heading back on Saturday afternoon down to Tempe. And we will be right back for week 3 of Arizona State Fall Camp. And by week 3, there will only be 3 weeks left until the start of the season. We all know that kickoff is August 30th against Northern Arizona at Mountain America Stadium. And before we get the bulk of today's show started, I also want to bring up Arizona State is ranked number 11 in the coaches poll, at least prior to the start of the season. And that should give fans hope that they will be ranked roughly around the top 10 in next Monday's AP poll, which is the poll that's used typically to measure teams before the college football playoff rankings are revealed. And as you see below me, please follow me on X/Twitter at KHicks_21. After the show, if you get an opportunity to do so, I have been posting a lot of content on X, including story content, media availability with Coach Kenny Dillingham and others, and various footage from practice when we're able to get footage. So that would mean the world to me. Your support already does mean the world to me, but building up my following on X/Twitter is of very high importance to me. So please give me a follow. And yeah, let's get today's episode started up. So I do want to talk about Monday's practice, at least a fair amount. It was another strong practice. Coach Dillingham really didn't have many complaints about practice. There were 10 NFL teams that sent scouts. There were 11 scouts. I believe one team had 2 scouts that they sent. That's why it was 11 scouts. But that's just a testament to the culture, the foundation that Kenny Dillingham has built. These 3-star athletes that are coming to Arizona State, the former 4-stars that didn't pan out at their former schools, are growing into NFL players before our eyes. As you know, Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, CJ Fight, Xavion Alford, Miles Ghost Rouser, Ben Coleman, Keith Abney II. There are so many players on this Arizona State roster that could very well be playing on Sundays in the near future. And the fact that nearly a third of the NFL showed up to watch practice on Monday, it's just a testament to what Kenny Dillingham has built. It's getting to the point where it's cliche, but it's very, very true and very, very applicable in almost every situation when it comes to the Arizona State football program. And I wanted to talk about a few observations outside of the scouts that showed up. So this was another great day from the running back room. Raleek Brown continues to show his dynamic dual threat capabilities, especially as a pass catcher. Kanye Udo made another key catch during practice, I believe, and then broke a long run. Kyson Brown continues to do his thing and still could be the leader in the clubhouse when it comes to being the starting running back, even if there isn't a workhorse in this year's running back room like there was with Cam Scattaboo last season. Jordan Tyson Kenny Dillingham has gotten to the point where I don't need to talk about Jordan every single practice, and we really don't either, but today he was especially impressive. He flashed that high-level athleticism that honestly gets lost in the fray a little bit when it comes to evaluating him as a player and as a prospect. A lot of people look at the route running, the ability to catch in traffic, the ability to line up anywhere on the field, but people really ignore his his real ability to accelerate, his ability to make quick turns on a whim, to change direction, to run precise routes with expedience. He he really does it all, and he's a phenomenal athlete on top of the things he does on the football field, and that continued to show today with a couple of highlight reel plays during the indoor portion of practice. AJ Ia is coming into Arizona State as a freshman, the part of the class of 2025, already with an NFL build. He made a couple of highlight catches once again today, and I asked Kenny Dillingham about the tight end room being a position of strength, and he really is thrilled with what they are truly building in that room. And Jason Mons could be the next Sean Aguano, a very, very successful high school football coach turned position coach at Arizona State that builds a long track record of developing NFL caliber talent. And that could be what happens with the Arizona State tight end group in the next few years. Montana Warren, another very, very impressive day from another Arizona State DB. We've talked about Jack Ball. We've talked about Abney. We've talked about Javen Robinson. Alfred and Rouser were out last week for a couple of days of practice, I believe. But we know about them. Who else is going to step up? Bimage has stepped up. Montana Warren has stepped up. Jack Ball has stepped up. And all of these guys have been mentioned previously by Coach Dillingham and by ASUNSI. But Montana Warren especially stood out today during practice. You can read my story. It'll be up shortly after this recording is over. So it'll be up shortly, and it will be up for about 16 hours by the time this gets out. So please check that out. Justin Watley is another name that really has stood out to me through the first few days of camp. The Cincinnati transfer came to Arizona State, has played a lot of DT last year, but it looks like he's transitioning to more of an edge role this season. He lost about 15 pounds over the course of the offseason. He looks stronger. He looks significantly faster. He looks more hungry this season. We all know last season Watley was one of the most important depth pieces on the Arizona State roster, but with CJ Fight, with Zach Swanson, with Mikael Gardner, could open up more time off the edge for him alongside Clayton Smith, Elijah O'Neal, Prince Dorba. And all of a sudden, this Arizona State defensive line is looking scary with all these guys healthy, all these guys experiencing internalized improvement and development. All these guys showing up in even better shape this season than they were in last season. And Deron Reynolds has done a phenomenal job as defensive line coach at Arizona State. That cannot be overstated. This is just an Arizona State program that is interconnected from end to end. The coaches are all on the same page. They all have expansive experience. They all have great track records when it comes to developing players. The players truly are there for each other. They show up every day and play with intensity for the most part. They really are a brotherhood. And seeing the growth of this team right before my eyes has been an absolute treat. I really could not be more excited to cover this Arizona State team during the duration of the season, and season opener once again right around the corner, August 30th, and I will be there. I will absolutely do my best to give you the best game coverage on the market or in the market. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I will join you once again tomorrow with another recap of camp. It's supposed to be more of a special teams heavy practice, but I will be there nonetheless, and I will give a report once again. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I couldn't do it without each and every one of you, and I will see you tomorrow.